Right, ladies, gentlemen, fellow anglers, bring you to a little puddle today where, as a kid, this is situated at the bottom of a village next to the village that I grew up in. So I grew up in a little village called Kalo, which is 2 miles that way. This little tiny puddle, which is probably half an acre, not even that, is situated at the bottom of a little village, and it's sort of a runoff pond. So everything that runs into local drains, rainwater, it all comes here, and it's reservoirs. So as it fills up, there's outlets, there's 2 of them, and it allows water to go out. Then when it goes back down to its normal level, it just sort of stays as it is until we have any bad rains or anything. The village is sort of located on a slope. What used to be apparent when I was younger was just how many fish we near. We used to walk down here nearly every day, and because it was so local, we'd come down after school for a few hours, and we'd just sit here hours and hours, day in, day out, week after week, fishing holidays. And it is full of fish. I know a lot of fish have been taken out over time, but on recent visits, just with kids coming to have a little go and getting them used to fishing, it's absolutely perfect for introductory fishing. There's no fishing rights, there's no signs up anymore saying no fishing that it used to be, but it's prominent that people do still come here and fish. And considering car park is just there next to Camry, I thought I'd come and have a go. Now, no big poles today, no big feeder rods, no tactical approaches, just a tiny little 3-metre whip in front of me, and that is pretty much all you need to have a very, very busy day's fishing. So, I'm going to chuck a rig on and see how I get on. But main focus today is, somebody said, see how many fish you can catch on a single maggot. So I think, whilst bagging up and showing you just how easy it is on a small whip for your kids, mum and dad to come and just catch a few fish, I want to task myself and just see what the highest number of fish I can get on one single bait is. Nice and easy. I've got some pinkies, I've got some maggots, nothing complicated, and I've got some Revolution baits, Skimmer and Bream dark and GG green ground bait. All I've done is I've 50-50'd it, and what I'll do is I'll just bore one of them in to start with and just swing the whip over the top, nice and simple. So I'll get set up, get comfy, and we'll catch some fish. Right, so before I get chucked in, I'm just going to show you my setup. It's really basic, nothing complicated at all. But all it is a 3-metre whip, or probably 2.5. It says 3 on it, but it don't look like it's much more than that. It's a Trabuco one. Don't know if that's going to be any good or not. But everything other than that, it's all Preston. So reflow power, 0.11 to 0.08 hook length. And I've got on there a Preston Dibber float, an inline one, 2 number 8s, and a hook, which is a Preston chopped worm size 20. Really fine wire hook, perfect for fishing pinky. And when you're after just these small fish, it's ideal. Don't want anything too big with a wide gape on it. So really easy. And all I'm doing is just going to swing it out like that, and then hook a fish, and then swing it straight back in. Nice and easy. Again, I don't do any whip fishing. Like, I don't really do much pole fishing, so apologies if skill set's not quite as up there with some of you world champion whip anglers. And that's pretty much it. Nice and simple. Not really got anything else to do other than just see how many of these little tiny fish I can catch. But still going to try and get as many as I can on one maggot. Really easy going. Don't need to put any bait in. There's loads of bubbles coming up there, so I know there's still some decent sized fish left in here. A chap who lives local has just been round and said that it's absolutely heaving with fish still. So really looking forward to it. It's been a long time. So I'm going to get some bait on and catch some fishes. So, whip, might be able to see it better from there. Little tiny float on, probably 14-inch depth. I've plumbed it up, but I've come off bottom because speed fishing like this, common sense tells me that it's probably not even going to make it down into that second half of water. So I'm just going to swing it out over there, see what happens. If I get any bites like quickly, any really quick indications, I am now already this place is wicked. Then I took some ground bait in. So I've mixed it up ready. Just a matter of waiting to see if I need it or not. There we go. That quick. Is that 2 fish in 20 seconds? Again, I know they're small, but it's just another style of fishing that I don't really do very often, this, so just nice to get out and do it. God. I don't know how many of these it's going to take for a pound, but we scored you. Can't see it being many. I mean, they're not tiny blades either. They're all right. It's probably the best part of 3/4 of an ounce, that one. Still not saying maggot. What's that? 3 fish on saying maggot. I ain't bothered doing any magic tricks with my line either, so it sinks. Just leaving it as it is. I don't really know any more than that, and I've not done any whip fishing research, but well, it's catching me fish anyway. Bit of wind on them. Maybe that's why it's called a whip. Who knows? So just as upbait's falling into that second after its drop, that's when I'm getting bites. Oof. That's a tiny rud, that. See, that things used to get pestered with all them years ago. Little tiny fish. Get wind on back of that, it'll take off. Oops. But I'm hoping if I can just get a few first, and then I'll start introducing a few loose offerings. Just try and get like a shallow swim going, so to speak. Really easy. So years ago there used to be signs all over the place saying no fishing and danger, and there's no there now. I can only assume that they've either been taken off, because place isn't a massive threat anymore, or locals, kids have just ripped them off or something. I don't know. Don't know why you do that. But still, like, even with fish, plenty of bites to be had. Well, in venues where it's perfect for bringing kids that aren't all that acquainted with angling and just getting them catching fish. Oh, I'm snagged, but I felt like there were fish on that at the same time then. Oh. It's done me a milk. So that were a better sized fish, that, and it's done me. So get a fresh hook on. Back with you in a sec. I'll be back in. Quick as that. Just going to pull that float down a little bit. See, this time, I'm just going to get them going. On top. Right, swing back in for a minute. Just keep it whip off to one side, and then should I get a nice early bite, I can just whip it to the side like that. Look. So if I'm coming upwards, I've got a lot of line to pick up before I get to my before I even connect with fish. It'll do. Oh, shot away that bite. See, it's not a bad fish. I mean, I know they're tiny blades, but I don't edit out bad bits, guys. Come on, that one's staying in. But in any other situation, I wouldn't be trying to show camera. What little tiny blade him. Got him. Actually see me pinky falling. Oh, there we go. See fish take that one then. Really good sport. I don't know if it'll play the same as what it used to, but years ago we'd sit out for a couple of hours taking as many of these as we could, and it wouldn't be long before they just stopped coming. Used to catch tench shallow doing this. Used to catch them shallow. Little tiny tench, but every now and again you'd get a pounder. Because you concentrate so much on feeding an upper layer of water, the up bottom feeders don't go looking, because there's just no way bait ever makes it to bottom with all these little fish. So tench, we just used to think they'd wised up at Crucians and they just moved up in the surface, in water level, and they just started feeding shallow. We used to fish bread under the surface and catch big old tench. But this is what it's all about. So this is fishing that I after the other week when I went up to New Junction Canal, just catching loads of these little blades, but some pesky skimmers turned up. Not difficult fishing either. Like, I suffer quite bad with a bad back, and this whip weighs nothing. The fish are really light. I don't have to have all my gear here. Just very, very simple fishing. Just whipping it out there like that. I've got a bit of wind in my face, so I'm just going to do that. There we go, that's better. Oh, look at that. Lovely fishing. You know, this isn't probably everyone's cup of tea, but I also do know that there's a lot of world-class anglers out there that absolutely love this style of fishing. And you can see why. It's nice and busy. See, these are just normal rudd, but years ago this place used to be dominated by golden rudd. And it used to be a pain catching them all the time, because sometimes you'd sit out with a big bread flake on at big Crucians, and you'd lift it up every now and again after a monster bite, and you'd have like a 0.5 ounce golden rudd on. And they were a pain in the arse, but they were just nice to see. Oh, this is perfect, this. I don't even think it's made out of carbon. I think it's just a glass whip. Because it's so short, there's just no bow in it. It's lovely and straight. So I come down the other day, I think you see the video, I was using a stick, still here beside me. And catching loads of fish on a stick, just with a pole rig tied to it. Ooh. You can tell I don't do this. Don't even know if I'm doing it right, but catching fish regardless. Better fish. I've got some lilies in front of me, and you might just be able to see them at the end of my whip tip. But try not to get jangled up around them. Just trying to keep in an open space near them. Get some more of them in. So I know Father Roberts asked me the other day where this were located, and I can't see it being much of a problem. I think just advertising it to the wrong audience might be. But it's located in a little town called Arkwright, if anyone's interested. There's no fishing rights, so don't come down here expecting to fish. There's no signs up either saying otherwise, so what I do know is that all houses next to it, which are probably 50 yards behind camera, they're all regulars, they're all anglers, and they all walk around here daily. I mean, chap's just been down, and he comes down here 3 or 4 times a day. So 3 on them are retired. An house over there, I can actually see cameras, and he's just said that he's got cameras watching this place. That's a better fish, look at that one. So it's being monitored all the time down here. And you can see why, it's just a little well, just a little local gemstone in area. See, that maggot is absolutely destroyed. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm going to carry on. So we used to run out of bait as kids, and we used to just get little bits of grass and put them on. We used to catch loads of fish on grass. There we go. Grass and everything. And I think one of my mates told me he caught on a bogey once, but I didn't see it happen. I believed him, but I didn't see it happen. Trying to think how I could get any quicker at doing this. But yeah, this sort of fishing just goes to show that if you've got any kids, I'll try and look at him then. If you've got any kids that are wanting to get into sport, you want to find a place like this where you can just catch fish after fish. And it's not so much that they're not big fish, so it's not really an interest. The idea is just watercraft and just getting them used to getting efficient at just catching anything, because it's that helps them later on when they start fishing for bigger stuff, but more frequent bigger fish. So you take them to a commercial and start fishing a pond there where stamper fish might be £1 a piece, but you know, you wouldn't expect them just to get on that straight away. So no, really enjoyable. It's one of them, like you could get probably 200, 250 of these, and they probably look like nothing at the bottom of your keep net. But it's a really busy day's fishing, that's for sure. Right, so that maggots off. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drop that and get my Skimmer and Bream Dark and GG Green mix. What I'm going to do is just make a clump. Nice good old squeeze. Just give it a ball in there like that. There we go, sinking lovely. And this stuff is just so rich with everything that fish love. So a couple of them in. Tell you what, that's just, spot on, that's sinking lovely. And all that'll do, that'll just give me a nice cloud and a nice bed on bottom to feed on. So any fish that I draw into my swim over that, if I then keep taking these little silvers over at top, then it shouldn't be long until I either start drawing fish up. I'm only a few inches off at bottom anyway. It's just that small drop sort of ping bite I'm looking for with these little small fish. So I'll put that in and catch some more. I'm straight in over the top with that. And whilst ever that ground bait's fizzing up, you've got to remember that it's every bubble that comes to the surface from it, there's a lot of attractant coming up with it. So as much as I've made a column of it going in, as it starts to break down, it'll then create another column coming up as well. I say I'm only in a couple of feet of water, so I don't have to worry about being on deck just yet. But it's working. This is what I'm after. Not a complicated session at all. Love this. Them lily pads next to me float, they're being knocked about all over, so I know there's plenty of movement down there. I'm going to feed too many, but I'm going to try and get some better fish up into surface water. So I think between casts, I'm just going to ping a few maggots out. Just drop it in. Still a lot of these in my swim. I'm just trying to think of a way I can get through them. To any better size fish. Oh, a bit better. Seems to have worked. So I'll try that again. So some of them, not my finger. Let me feed again. Oh, watch the fish take that then on its way in. I think that's what's happening. The fish are getting it way earlier than what I'm expecting. Maybe if this is a technique, chuck them in like that, and then probably like that. Seems to have gone quite well. Oh, better. Better. What we got? What we got? What we got? Roach. Not a bad little roach, him. Probably about an ounce. Nice little silver bar. Nice little bonus fish, that. Right, so I've had 2 better fish doing that, so I'm going to do the same again. So feed. If I keep hooking my finger, straight out with rig, wait in, wait. They come up, feed away. There we go. Look at that. Another golden rod. Better fish as well. Maybe that is the way forward, guys. Maybe that is the way forward. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a maggot on. Just going to hook him lightly in top. And then the same again. Get some of them out. I can actually see them coming up shallow from now, actually. See if we can get any better fish doing it like this. Better. Better. He's a really golden rud. Absolutely stunning fish, that one. He's as gold as they come in. Right, so this is how we do it. A couple of them. Rig straight in. Just shallow fishing, isn't it? Rig's falling in. Look at that. Another rud again, but better size fish. So I've had 5 better size fish in a row just by going straight in over the top of some loose feed. So again, it's all falling down together. Working. Sussed it, Anna. Sussed it. Absolutely sussed it. So straight in, over the top. I can see him feeding them fish now. Oh, there we go. And again, there we go, look. Much better size fish. Right, well, I'm going to leave you guys there for a bit. I'm going to have a cup of tea and something to eat. I will join you back in a minute. So, swing that down there out of the way. So I've got loads and loads of rud in my peg. Catching loads shallow, had a couple of roach as well. Now I'm deploying George's pole. Little tiny baby top kit with some 8 elastic. Should be alright on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plumb it up. I've got a margin 4x12 on there, Preston one. And all I've got here is just a couple of sections of George's pole. What I'm going to do is just going to sneak that plummet in over the top. I'm going to fish just there. So I'm about a foot back to where I've been fishing up in water. Right, so probably needs to be 3 inch. Because believe it or not, those rud will take either a big piece of bread or a nice chunky piece of sweet corn. So I'm trying to get it. So I'm going down to the bottom nice and quickly. And hopefully there should be some tench down there. And years ago, I don't know about now, but there were millions of Crucians. There, perfect. There were millions of Crucians. You couldn't have 10 minutes fishing on here years ago without catching loads of Crucians. And back then they were like a bit of a pest fish, so to speak. Absolutely tons of the things. Just going to chuck a number 8 on there. A bit ambitious with hook over a size 14 on. But Crucians being finicky, I don't want them to be messing about with a bait that's got a small hook in it, especially fishing corn. They know what size of bait, they know what they have to do to nail it. So it means matching it with the same hook size, which are 14. These grains of corn is quite ample. Now, I've been feeding loads of maggots and pinkies over the top. I've also balled in that ground bait as well to start with. Not going to bother putting a pot on and going over with anything else. I'm just going to go in and firstly I want to be looking for any liners. Just want to get them 2 number 8s to sink that down as quick as I can. There we go. I'm looking for some liners first, just see if there's any activity down at the bottom. That's sunk 10 times as quick that time. I'm just going to be watching now just to see if there's anything. Oh my god. Straight away. This number 8 elastic is a bit light. Is that a Cruy? It is a Crucian. Straight away. Hook come out. Hook's come out. Look at that. Perfect little Crucian straight away, that. You couldn't write it. That is a very positive sign. Right, go back in again. Again, I'm not going for the biggest piece of corn I can find. I'm looking at what smallest piece in my tin is and what biggest is. I'm just trying to go between. See, this is where that happens that quick and I don't get another fish again for about another 20 minutes, but we'll see. So hopefully get back on deck with that now. Just wait out for any movements. Again, I'm not taking that first fish as gospel. Could have put it straight under the nose. Oh, that were another one then straight away. Again, I'm not taking, like I was saying, I'm not taking the first one as gospel. 5 or 6 and I'll know where I've got in my swim then. That were a very positive response, that one then. So rig straight in, let's get everything on its way down to the bottom straight away. Again, so even a little small rud, they'll all still have a go at a piece of corn. Might even catch a couple of rud on a big piece of corn. But very positive signs straight away. From what I remember, this place used to be full of Crucians. Used to get annoyed at catching them after a bit because back then you'd get, what was the F1? Them little carp that had obviously crossbred with Crucians so many times. It was just nice to get them. Here we go. Oh, it's off again. Wow, really positive signs though. Can't believe it is happening that fast. Massive grain of corn as well, just a big old grain up straight through the middle at the top as well. Get that rigging nice and quick. There we go. Dunk it in. I've plumbed up, so I'm just touching bottom. Really positive bite that then. It's just starting to drift off. I don't know if that's going to be a, it's like I say, a small rud. They can still get a nice big piece of corn in the mouth. It is a Crucian again. I want to play him nice and close in before I net him because I'm not fishing that far out. Absolutely amazing. Do you know what? It'd be nice if we could get a really good spell of them because they really do punch up a weight, they do. That is mega. Make sure you guys are still on. Little tiny top kit as well. I know some of you guys out there have got your short kits, but these that I make up for George are even shorter and they're perfect for just ours and a little bit of elastic.
and hooking into little fish like these. Bite straight away. Again, I can't ignore them rudd. They could be hammering that piece of corn on its way to the bottom. It'd be nice to get a few tench as well. Really positive stuff though, that's what we want. I'll probably see if I can get a couple more fish and see what life's like on bottom, and if I need to, I'll put in a couple more balls of ground bait again straight away. This is absolutely mega. I've gone with an 8 elastics. I don't need to be geared up. I know there's some big fish in here. If I do at one, I've stuffed it. But look at that. Lovely, that. That is what we've come for. Again, nice big piece of corn, just hooking it confidently right through the centre at the top, and then just bending it round so it points up, comes out at the side like that. Just note the bottom of a piece of corn is the heaviest bit, and I want that bit to be firing into the fish's mouth first. Loads of bites straight away. A little bit small fish hitting it as it goes down to the bottom. And it's them confident bites that just pull bristle down enough for it to be there, under. That's when I know it's right on Crucian's dinner table. This is absolutely spot on, this. Oh, he's going back out. I've got to be careful, there's a couple of lilies there. There's a better one, that's for sure. Oh my God. This is going to be a good day. Look at him. Probably not far off 12 ounce him. Slide him in. See, I love them rudd. I sit and catch them all day, and I'll probably go back on whip later on, but if I know I've got these in my swim, I'll definitely not ignore these. So let's get that back in nice and quickly. Again, I ain't fed anything over the top since I put that ground bait in earlier. But from what I know, this place is stuffed with them. Absolutely stuffed. So I know I could probably sit and just single bait it all day and still catch him. A few bites then. Really got to know when to hit it, because these Crucians will inhale it, and on exhale that's when they'll hook themselves, and that's when you start to see your float just move off. I was just about to say like then, but it didn't turn out that way. Turn that rig back in. Oh, I hope we have a good spell of Crucians now. See, they were the childhood fish to come down for, and anything else like your tench and your carp were just a bonus in between. There we go. Straight back to that top kit. Oh, it is a bit weedy there. This is absolutely mega. Oh, there's loads of them little weeds everywhere, them little lilies. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely Crucian City. Stunning fish, that, and they're pristine as well. Like I say, they never get fished for. It's a good job. All these locals around here in these houses, they've got all the cameras on it all day, every day, and like I say, a lot of them are retired, so they get to just walk down here and have a good look round and police it, so to speak. I don't know what biggest bagger F1s or Crucians is, but I remember filling probably 2 rings of a keep net back in the day down here. Just millions and millions on them, and again, straight away, this is what it's all about. Look at that. All naturally bred as well, nothing's been stocked in here over years. It was just a an handful of fish that we used to come down and fish for, and then just persevering and spending a lot of time down here, that's when we'd start to catch the tench and carp, and we realised just what we're in here. And over time they have all just spawned and bred naturally, and just a really, really healthy water. In a sense, I'm glad that it were never took on as a little fishing pond, or fishing rights were never put on it, because it is an absolute gold mine that locals that live here that like to come down with kids to fish. So yeah, George's pole, just a little 6 metre pole, and I'm just fishing with top two, so to speak. It's probably half for a top kit size, top 2 plus 2, just about a foot back from that whip line that I had earlier. That's not quite sitting right. Oh, what's up with that? Try it again. So that's shooting down to the bottom now, that rig. Twice speed, try and get through all them rudd, because they will, like I say, they will attack it on the way down. I am half expecting to hook a couple of rudd fishing corn, because you can catch them on corn. Absolutely ravenous. Just waiting for that dive under and that sail away bite. There we go. Really positive bite that time. Probably a bit better fish as well if he's not hung up on some weeds. There we go. And if you can get your kids down to a venue where it's fish sort of this size pretty much all the time, and they've got a little pole and you want to elasticate it, don't go elastic too heavy, because probably a 13 or upwards you'd be bumping these off and losing them. A nice soft elastic means that you're getting them all in, and it just results in a better day's fishing as well. Like number 8 probably is a bit too soft, and it's a number 8 slip as well, so if you want to go for like a 10 slip, that would probably be ideal. So rig straight in, back down it goes. It's nice and quickly onto the bottom. That's where all them bigger fish are residing, like I was saying earlier. You can catch them shallow every now and again, them Crucians and Tench. Sounds mad, but catch them Tench shallow. But where you can get down at bottom, just always focus to get down there nice and swiftly, and you will catch them better sized fish. There was a bit of weed down there or something, but I just pinged off something there. I'm just getting a bit of like a caught up indication on flow. It's just not settling as well as what I'd like. Oh, that was a quick bite, that one. Bit ambitious with strike, but so we'll go again. There we go, it's settling better. Yeah, you can tell when it's making it to the bottom, she's getting these bites pretty quick. So them little sharp bites like that, they might be rudd. Oh, that's a crewy. Off he goes. So they do battle these fish, so if you do get in a bit of weed, they will probably pull you out. Oh, this is amazing. I ain't got a pull kit either, because I'm trying to teach George how to fish without one. So he's having free reign at place, this fish. There's a better Crucian than that one. Oh, he is an handful. Probably getting on for nearly £1, that fish. Stunning. Plenty of noises to listen to. It's well away from main roads as well, so there's no traffic noise. Yeah, odd car come down every now and again to houses next to the pond, but nothing major. Bin lorry's been down today, and that's about it. This is absolutely mega fishing, this. Something about fishing with a little pole and light elastic that just make it that little bit more enjoyable. I think if I had an F1 kit or even just a normal match kit, I'd just be overgunning it. It'd be pointless. Right, so as before, just going to up that up. I've not got a cupping kit, I ain't really bothered. What I have got is bucket of ground bait, and this stuff, Revolution Bait, Skimmer and Bream Dark and GG Green, has not failed me for silvers yet. I catch plenty of Crucians on it, feeder fishing all over the place and a bit of pole fishing, but It's not something that I carry with me day in, day out, just for a specific species like Crucians. But if these Crucians are here coming onto it that quickly, and they're feeding confidently over it, then I'll definitely keep reintroducing it, that's for sure. Saying we are confident these fish are at feeding, I don't need to worry about potting it in loose and fishing on a nice even platform out there as well. And then I have chucked together a couple of micros, just for the sake of what fish are now turning up. I'm just going to put a slack handful over the top. And now you've got to sort of envisage that colour scheme that's going off down there. Really dark colours, Skimmer and Bream dark with that GG green. Then micros over the top. They'll act like a bit of a light fleck over the top of that. And then fishing 1 grain of corn over the top, it just stands out like a sore thumb. When I put it in at the start of the session, I think you remember me telling you, besides cloud of groundbait coming up, I had lots of sort of late bed coming up as well. Fish were feeding on it really heavily to start with. So I'm not got to worry about fish waiting for any time for fish to come over it. I'm quite confident they're going to be there straight away. So I'm going to go straight back over the top. I'll probably finish off with a nice crewy session. That groundbait's bubbling up nicely. Nice bite then straight away. Yep. See, absolutely not bothered. 2 decent sized balls of groundbait gone straight in. Those fish, they're just not bothered. They're just still there straight away. Another crewy. Hooked in bottom lip every time, as they are. I think corn selection's massive. If you're fishing for really big carp, you know your really big pieces of corn, just putting 2 on, not on a hair rig, just putting 1 on and then sliding it up your line, and then hooking your second one how you want that to be presented, and then sliding the other one back down over the top, and fishing dead depth as well. So you have 2 grains of corn pretty much standing off at bottom at lake bed. Amazing bait for carp on any lake. Fishing it over hard pellets as well. It's just a really nice, free, soft alternative for them. Now, I do believe fish love crunching away on pellets, but you know, it's like biscuits and ice cream, isn't it? Something nice and soft and just sweet. That's settling nicely. Loads of liners, plenty of fish down there still. So that ground bait's gone in. I'm just fishing to the left of it. There we go. That's another one. Not a big fish this time. Oh, Mr. Tench, the first Thomas of the session. That's how small he is. And believe me, you can catch hundreds of these. Well, as far as I can remember, if they're still in here in the same numbers. And looking like that, I imagine they are. Little tiny Thomas the Tenchers, as Andy would call them. Same grain of corn. Not being wasteful. No, fish aren't bothered. Straight back in. There we go. Straight over that. So I put 2 balls in. I put 1 in just to the left and 1 to the right. Look at that straight away. And it's Fish City. That's got to be a tench going that fast. It is. Another little Thomas. Another reason why you've got so many eyes on this place all over. Because tench like that are hard to come by nowadays. That's why so many people are just watching this venue all the time, just making sure no one's coming and pinching fish. It's not so much that they have anything to do with fish or they own them. It's just about looking after them. And the last thing you want is to be shifting fish about without permission. Cause more damage than you realise by moving fish from one water to another. So as well as that, looking after fish stocks, it just saves loads of hassle in the long run with disease spreading. That Revolution bait stuff is absolutely awesome. Just everywhere I go, fish just go mad for it. Absolutely mad. There we go. Oh, he's off. If you're interested in any Revolution Baits options, by the way, ground bait, pellets, flavourings, gloves, clothing, if you go onto our website, which the link will be in the description of this video, have a quick look on there, and I'll put a link to the website on bottom. Really simple. You just go online, select what you want. If there's anything you fancy, put it in your basket, and then a really simple checkout service. A couple of minutes, you just confirm all your details there and your shipment address and everything. Nice simple payment, and it's on its way. And if you're local to the bait shed option that it gives you, you can always head over to the bait shed and collect it. That other one, it will have been a tench how it's set off like that. They're only small, but like I say, well, we all know how tench go off. £6 tench is like a £30 carp, how they fight. That were another Crucian anyway. So again, piece of corn. Not being too picky, but I'm not getting the biggest ones I can find. Straight back in with that. So drop it in. I want to get my rig straight in. Not worrying about letting it down slow. I want to get it straight in and get it past all them nuisance fish. Getting bites straight away on that. More bites. Starting to sail off. That going to result in a fish? Got to be. It has. Get a couple of little head knocks and it just starts to like budge over either side. It's normally when your fish is hooked and it's just wondering what to do with itself. Another Crucian, that. Full of them. And they're not them fake Crucians either that have been crossbred, and they actually something else. They are all genuine, proper pedigree Crucians in here. Yeah, nothing really, anything finesse about it, just as long as it's on. There's plenty of hooks showing. There we go. Had a bite straight away, they don't drop. Not even at bottom yet, that. And fish on. Not even made it anywhere near bottom, that. And it's a tench. So back to my theory earlier about shallow tench. In here, these things will take shallot all day long. Little tiny baby Thomas the Tench, that little female, that one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of that. So I'm going to call it a day. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pull my fish out, show you what I've ended up with. Oh, look at them. Right guys, that's the end of that session. So that whip session went south, but feeding up in water like that all day, it's bound to be full of Crucians on this venue. Since being a kid, it's absolutely full of them. And we used to bag up on them just like this years ago. These were never in here though. Big old roach like that. Had a few of them, but mainly Crucians and a lot of these tiny little baby tench as well. Absolutely millions of them. So started off shallow on whip, just fishing pinky and maggot, getting some decent fish, rudd mainly, a couple of roach. And then I went on deck feeding Revolution Baits Skimmer and Bream Dark 50-50 to Revolution Baits GG Green. And all I've been doing is just fishing a single grain of corn on hook over at top. And that's pretty much done 90% at weight here. So awesome day's fishing. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will definitely be back here with George and Leo for a one-to-one. So from me and these lot, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on next one.